This year, the UPRA has been a great year. I've had a great summer, won a lot. My horse has been working outstanding. He's been a huge part of my success. Lately, in the past 3 or 4 years, I've looked forward to qualifying for the UPRA finals for a long time now, but I haven't been able to because I've been living down here in the summers in South Texas, and the rodeos are a long way away, but I've went to school at Tarleton in Stephenville, Texas for the past 3 years, going on 4, and through that I met Peyton Bray and got the opportunity to live at their house. Ken and Billy invited me to live there this summer and haul with Peyton to the UPRAs, and that's also been a big part of my success, being able to be around those kind of people that are successful and work hard and have the same goals. And also qualified for the College National Finals this year for the 3rd time in a row for Tarleton. Haven't had the CNFR I've planned to have the last 3 years, but it's been a great experience. Actually made the short round this year, and our team actually won 2nd in the nation. It's been great, and look forward to going back for a Masters this next year and hopefully having a little more success. This year, I also qualified for the new WCRA in Salt Lake and went up there and had a great time. Actually won the first round, split the round with JC Malone with 7 flat. Came back to the finals and got really fast and just had a good calf, but wasn't the greatest calf, but didn't do my job. I broke the barrier and calf kind of strained, but was great to compete against all those guys and had a great time, and look forward to going back and making it to Guthrie. I can remember ever since I was growing up, I started roping when I was 3 years old and had a horse named Candy. Actually, everybody ran barrels on her in my family, but I was bound and determined I was gonna rope, and since I was 3 years old, my dad and family always given me the opportunity, and since I was 3 till I was probably 4 or 5, we had some Holstein calves that would just walk around, and I would track around, walk around, roping, and half the time I'd miss, more than half the time I would miss, but I would try, and I'd be out there with my cousins and trying to tie, flanking tie too early, I know that. And my dad and family, they've rodeoed their whole life and still do. My dad trained some horses. My mom doesn't rodeo as much anymore. She used to pro rodeo, missed the NFR 1 year barely, but sister has rodeoed, and dad trains horses. He grew up kind of doing it the hard way, so he's kind of learned the ins and outs of everything, and it's helped me within my roping. And my mentors growing up, just kind of my dad, I've listened to him a lot, and then of course always listen and watch, and Joe Beaver, Cody Old, Tuff Cooper, all of them. I've been there, done that, wanted to be all of them. Growing up, I didn't compete in high school rodeo my first 2 years. I wasn't big enough, wasn't strong enough, hadn't grown yet, and I competed at a lot of jackpot calf ropings, and I rode one horse pretty much all the way through high school. I had 2. I had a practice horse that was good enough if my good horse went down that I could ride her too. She was also my bulldogging horse, which some people think is funny, but she was good at both of them. And but that old sorrel horse, he's kind of taught me, he took care of me in high school actually. He didn't really matter what I did, he cleaned everything up, and he was 20 years old. He was a veteran while I was a rookie, and after high school, I qualified for the high school finals on him and that mare in the bulldogging and the team roping. But after that, I went on to continue my education at Hill College. Paul Brown offered me a rodeo scholarship there, and I went there and I rode him all through my first year of college. And actually after my first year at Hill, I'd run out of hours, so I transferred to Tarleton. Tarleton's been great to me. That town has all the opportunity in the world for someone that wants to rodeo. It's probably the only town that you can go to lunch and you can see 5, 6 NFR qualifiers while you're in town. So it's been great, and Mark Aiken, he's been great, and our rodeo team's really close. Why am I so successful now? A lot went into it. Many of hours in the practice pen spent with my dad and another guy, Dave Laster, which I got the opportunity to rope with while I was at Hill College. And in high school, I really didn't have to use much horsemanship. That the horse I rode in high school kind of cleaned everything up. It didn't matter what I did; he was going to do the same thing every time. And we got a horse when I guess I was a freshman in college. We purchased a horse, and he was a lot less forgiving, I guess you could say. And I had to learn horsemanship, and Dave Laster has taught me more about horsemanship than anyone else, and I think that's a big key to my success right now. That horse, we've worked a lot with that horse, and he's working really, really good, and I think a horse has a lot to do with how much you're winning. If your horse is working good, then you're going to rope good because your horse is working good. And being around winners in Stephenville, I think, has helped a lot. Go to a Tuesday night jackpot, and there's 10 NFR qualifiers there, and it's no cakewalk. You have to be on your A game every jackpot that you enter. And in Salt Lake, it was honestly just like a jackpot in Stephenville, so I really wasn't that nervous. And that horse has been superb for me. Over the course of the year, the UPRA, he's been, I mean, I've messed up way more than he has. Rodeo strategy, I kind of just enter where the money is, really, but I do go to small ones, but mostly where the money is, because the big ones pay the best, and that's going to count more to the standings. But the UPRA, they're great rodeos, and they're just as tough as the pro rodeos. The WCRA was kind of a crazy deal. I was on Facebook one day, and I saw Bobby Mode or Trevor Brazil, someone talking about this new deal, and I watched it, and I got online and I looked at it, and it said you nominate rodeos and get points. And online it said that my first nomination was free, so I nominated Hubbard, Texas, and ended up winning second at Hubbard, and never looked back at the standings, never even thought about it. And a week before Salt Lake, I got a text that said I had qualified for the Days of 47, and I called my dad and I asked him if he was ready to take a road trip. I'm not sure he even knew that I had nominated a rodeo, but it worked out and I did good up there. And this WCRA, I think it's really going to take off. It's a great way for not only guys who make a living rodeoing to make more money, but just the average guy who doesn't want to go all year long. You can qualify into these events and run for the big money. I mean, paying $50,000, that's life-changing. And I think I'm sitting 25th in the standings right now, and they take 150 into Guthrie, and they take the top 8 out of Guthrie to Sacramento, and I'm looking forward to qualify. For my future, I just graduated from Tarleton with a bachelor's degree in Ag Services and Development, and I just got accepted into the master's program in Ag Consumer Science and plan to start that this fall. And I'm going to college rodeo one more year, and I plan to get my permit and kind of get my feet wet in pro rodeo and see how that goes. I've got my one good horse, and then I've got a young horse coming up, but we're always looking for another horse. And I plan to pursue a career in rodeo after college, but I plan to get my master's before that. I wouldn't want to start out too early in pro rodeo and not do too well, but that's my plan for the future, and that's about it. You could probably just cut that off.